Hello crazy coders, welcome to yet another video on our series why SQL is so popular. As we discussed, we'll go through four aspects and then in the end we'll summarize why SQL is so popular. So as we already covered history, which was on the terms who created it, when initial releases, initial features, link will be in the description. Do check out. In this video we'll talk about philosophy, and in the upcoming videos we'll talk about power and market. So let's continue. Today it's about philosophy, and which will be on the terms like what is this language, why it's unique, what are the ideologies, principles, design principles, etc. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing, when you Google SQL, the Wikipedia definition says that SQL, structured query language, is the domain specific language used in programming and designed for managing data held in a relational database management system and for stream processing in a relational stream management system, which is RDBMS. It is particularly useful in handling structured data, and it is continued as originally based upon relational algebra and tuple relational calculus. SQL consists of many types of statements which may be informally classified as sublanguages, commonly data query language, data definition language, data control language, and data manipulation language. Although SQL is essentially a declarative language, so one thing for sure, if you understand this SQL definition completely, you will understand what is the design philosophy of this language. So let's continue. So let's go through every term one by one and let's understand each term. The first term, let's talk about domain specific language. So what is domain specific language? It is language that is specialized to a particular application domain. Examples such as HTML and SQL. As you know, HTML is only used for web layout and it has no other use case in the development industry, but HTML is the best for the web layouts and is no competition. Same with SQL, it is only used in the database category of the development industry, but it has no competition there. So that's what domain specific language means. We have the second term, which is relational database management system, which is also known as RDBMS. Of course, this term is very big, so it consists of two words, which is relational database and second, management system. So first, let's understand what is a relational database. So relational database is a database that follows relational model. What is a relational model? It is a model that was described in the Edgar Cord's paper, which we have discussed in the first video, which is on history, so do check that out. So basically, relational model means data organized in tables which has columns and rows, and columns are known as attributes and rows are known as tuple, and every table is in relation with another table. So that what in short relational model means. And a system or computer software or computer system which allows us to manage this relational model is known as management system, which is relational database management. The overall basic layout of the RDBMS is just like this. It has instance, it has database, it has memory model, it has process model, it has storage model, and overall we have a database server through which just query the data or manipulate. So the moving next term is relational data stream. So the moving next term is relational data stream management system. The only difference here is data stream. So let's understand what is a data stream. The formal definition is data stream is a sequence of digital encoded coherent signals used to transmit or receive information that is in the process of being transmitted. The most important line here is it is in the process of being transmitted. So basically, the stream is very similar to the river stream, but instead of water here, data is flowing. Platforms such as YouTube and Facebook and other social media platforms receive constant data streams because of the users interaction with the platforms content. Not only they store these data streams, they also analyze in a real time to provide accurate recommendations. So a system or a management system, computer software which allows us to manage relational data stream is known as relational data stream management system. So moving ahead, we have the term structured data. So structured data is also a form of data, but there are some properties which make the data structured. So let's define those properties. The first property is it follows a particular data model. Second property is it is only consist of numbers, strings and dates. It can be displayed in rows and columns, and it requires less storage since it can be described in rows and columns. We already know we have a definite amount of storage for rows and columns, so that's why it requires less storage, and it is easier to manage as well since it's structured. We can use SQL because it's a structured query language. Moving ahead, the next term is SQL State. So SQL statements are divided into sublanguages based on their functionalities. So mainly divided into four sublanguages: data query language, data definition language, data control language, and data manipulation language. Let's go through one by one. The first term will go is data query language. Query basically means a question, and all the statements that are used to fetch data based on particular question are known as data query language. And examples include, and basically select is only statement that is used for query. Moving ahead, we have data control language. Control basically means we are either giving an access or either restricting them from particular. So statements like grant and revoke, which are useful to give rights and permissions, other permission control parameters of the database. Moving ahead, we have data definition language. So definition, as we know, means we are defining something. So all the statements which are used to define a database, which is the name of table or maybe the number of rows, number of columns, all the statements which are used to define a database structure that are included in this sub language category. So the common statements are create, alter, truncate and drop. And also, for example, we use create database, create your table, create view. So that's it. And the next term is data manipulation language. So manipulation basically means that we are changing the table's data, which is a part of database. So basically statements or commands that allows you to modify the database instant by inserting, modifying or delete its data. So it is responsible for performing all type of data modification in a database. For data manipulation is create, read, update or delete. And the examples include insert into table, as you can see in this example. So in short, as we have gone through the every term in the SQL, now you have understood the definition. So now we can summarize that basically SQL design is made to manage databases, is made in such a way that it is easy to manage databases, and its philosophy is based on the relational model of databases, which was mentioned in Edgar Codes, which basically says that data should be organized in tables and columns. That's why SQL is structured query language, means a database which follows a relational model can be easily managed with SQL. So that's the philosophy of this language. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day ahead. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And yeah, have a great day ahead. We'll catch you up in the next video.